in Podcast Detroit, recording live. Prepare yourself for a hoppy drive. If you're chilling at home, pop that crowler and just kick back for the next 2 hours. It's the end of the week, so here's to the weekend. It's Better on Draft with Rob, Matt, Nick, and Ken.
And we are live, episode 191, Better on Draft podcast. In studio today, all four hosts, no guests. It's going to be a great show. We've got beer galore on the table here for sure. And I'm going to start off with myself. I am drinking a Diet Verner's, going with a little Matt and some Woodford Reserve.
You got quite the mix there.
Yeah, I've got the Diet Verner's Woodford Reserve. I've got the end of the night shot for tonight. Do you guys want to know what it is?
It looks like moonshine to me.
It is moonshine. In fact, it is.
What kind of moonshine?
So it's from a distillery over in Canada.
Canada.
Is it a Canadian moonshine, I guess you could say. Okay. I'm looking for the city. I don't remember. Elmira, Ontario, Canada.
Okay.
This is a 80 proof, so it's not going to completely destroy
Knock
you.
on your ass, yeah.
And this is a juniper moonshine.
Ooh.
So
that sounds pretty fancy there.
Yeah. So this place that I went to, they had a moonshine tasting room. Now, most of the moonshines there were literally only like 40 proof. Mm-hmm. Proof, not percent.
Not 40%, but 40 proof.
40 proof.
So that's like the heaviest one, is what you're saying.
Yeah, this is one of the heavier ones.
Okay.
So this was definitely you got to try them all, but it was like for a taste of 4 ounces of moonshine was $5.
American?
$5 Canadian.
Oh, okay.
So it's like $4 American.
Yeah, it's about $4 American. So 4 ounces for $4. It was a great deal, and you got to try different flavors. Basically, it was the kind of thing you wanted to do before you made the decision of what you wanted to buy. So I went with my girlfriend. We had 8 total, and we sipped on a bunch of different moonshines, which included, there was a blueberry one. There was one that like the cherries kind of sat in it, and the shot was like the shooter after you eat the cherry. The what is the thing you do when you drink a shot and you don't like it, so you have to follow it up?
Spit take.
No, you follow it up with the chaser. There you go.
Yeah, okay.
I don't chase liquor, so I don't even think of that.
I wonder what the people from that TV show Moonshiners would think with all the flavored moonshine.
I couldn't tell you. You'd have to ask them yourself.
All those West Virginians.
There's like a cream liqueur moonshine that they definitely had to like mix up before they served it. Very, very interesting place to say the least. So definitely go check it out over in Elmira. It's on the way to Toronto from Detroit. Just about maybe like a 10-kilometer detour.
It's a couple clicks. It's all right.
Nick, what's going on?
What's up? Happy Friday and happy start to what will eventually become the football season. Very soon.
My football season started last Saturday.
Last Saturday?
Or no.
Yeah.
Was it last Saturday? Yeah, it was
Yeah.
last Saturday.
Yep.
Yeah, where definitely the end of the game was a pretty shitty end of the game. Both teams did not want to win it. But Florida wound up beating Miami, and therefore, I'm sad.
Aw, poor thing.
That's okay. Harry in the chat says, "What's up? What's up?"
Hey, Harry, what's up?
What up, dope?
Nick, what are you drinking?
All right. Well, I finally cracked open one of these Dragon's Milk White from New Holland.
No dildos today?
No dildos today. Maybe next show.
dildo to put in his mouth.
What's?
I'm so mad at you guys for just dropping the ball on all the innuendos.
We didn't see there was a point.
Yeah. This. What was this, Rob?
That is the Wakanda Wake Up.
Wakanda Wake Up
from Canton Brew Works.
From Canton Brew Works. And then I got a 2017 Sumatra Mountain Brown from Founders.
I guess we're going to be talking about that later.
Yeah, I started it. Yeah. But
we all are in agreement, minus Rob. Rob has other takes on it because Rob has other feelings on it.
I mean, I got what I got.
Well, let's go around the table first.
We'll save it. We'll save it for later.
Yeah, go around the table.
Rob, what do you got over there?
I have a Chacao from Listerman.
Cacao
out of basically out of Cincinnati area. It is a hazelnut double brown. So I figured I was gonna already pass it down.
So you're gonna get your Nutella with a brown ale.
Probably
Double.
double. But
Matthew, if you can pour some for me in my little glass right here.
the
Or
king of browns
big
over
pint
there.
Glass, little
Yeah.
glass.
This Wakanda,
Yeah, what do you think?
interesting.
That is, oh my god, it's like so much coffee up front.
It's got coffee up front, but I don't know what is it at the on the end. I'm having a hard time.
I don't. It's just like me. It's just like
I don't mind the coffee.
like straight coffee. I'm really enjoying it.
I don't mind the coffee.
I mean, compared to just like the Dragon's Milk White, it's the Dragon's Milk White. It's okay. I've been
not bad. I like
told to try this, and it was told it was going to be really good. I'm kind of comparing the two right now, and obviously Dragon's Milk isn't using coffee, but I'm still just not really getting anything.
See what they have.
Like I get the vanilla
Yeah.
that comes off from it, but it's just there.
It doesn't even say anything. Whatever.
Matthew,
Kenneth,
how are you now?
finding you.
How's the
Not so bad.
the Tupac thing going?
So I don't know what happens.
All eyes on me.
My
eyes on me.
I changed my
Hail Mary.
screensaver setting to where it wouldn't kick on and it would just stay.
Yeah.
But for some reason, last week my YouTube just died in the middle of it. So
Did it just die in your arms tonight?
it did.
Some cutting crew.
So good news and bad news. So they're now parking on the grass
Oh,
Of the front lawn or the backyard?
of the front lawn because in St. Clair Shores, where I live, you can't block the sidewalk or you get a ticket.
Well, that's every city.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, so they've resorted because the pop-up trailer is still a month plus in, is still in the front yard or in the driveway.
oh my God.
They now have to park their cars on an angle, and it's gotten to where it's on the grass now. So I called the city and found out they do have an ordinance
For parking on the front lawn.
on the grass, and thus I informed them that somebody had done that. So luckily, part of the Shore's Finest came out and offered them a citation to not do that any longer. So it'll be unique to see what happens when I get home, because also in the Shores, you can't park on the street between 2 and 6 a.m. So they'll either have to park on the street, park blocking the sidewalk, or again, park on the grass. So we're just going to flood their inbox full of nicenesses.
You're just going at him.
I can't stand this. These dogs, they never stop barking. If you think of just white trash, this is exactly what you're dealing with.
How's the beer?
It's a little bit nutty for me, to be honest. Now with full pieces of walnut, I think.
What's the name of that beer
Or
one more
hazelnut.
time?
It is called Chicao
Cacao.
with an extra.
I don't hate it. It's just not my favorite. If this was one of multiple beers on tap, this would be the one I would order last. It's got a good body to it. It's very malty, and then the malt turns into overly sweetened from the hazelnut, which turns me off. So, I mean, if you like malt bombs, this is literally up your butt and to the left. Right, this is perfect for you. Ken, have you put this in your face hole yet?
I have not yet. That is the cacao.
Chicao.
It's a silent H. Not gonna lie, not a fan.
Yeah, it's just
First sip, not a fan. Tastes
Yeah.
a little flat. Don't know if that's you or them. Definitely getting the brown ale, a little bit of biscuit, but yeah, I mean, this. To be honest, if you sent this to me, I would say this is your standard 3.0 brown. Nothing
I'm gonna have to
special.
clean out my glass with White Claw after that.
What's that White Claw you got over there?
I got a mango.
In demand mango.
Yeah, I also have some goodies to share with you guys. Maybe
Man.
segment 3
Oh, okay.
All right.
to and by goodies I mean baddies.
Yeah, it's just it's going to be a hard
That
seltzer.
it is.
It's going to be a
makes
hard
for-
seltzer taste test.
You are
It's a
correct,
bla-
good sir.
What?
You are.
Are you serious?
But a blind taste test to the losers.
Exactly.
Of, a small
Of
contest.
course, it's
Well,
going to be a blind.
I have a bad feeling about this because there is a Four Loko seltzer now.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Four Loko has a seltzer.
Apparently,
18%.
It's like
Are you fucking serious?
Is it
correct.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he shared it on my Facebook page, and my response, which is simply no.
I don't even look at Facebook anymore.
was-
That's the reason why.
it was
'cause it's
just
shit
no.
like that.
Yeah.
Well, Pabst has got their seltzer.
Out of all the things, the political posts, the sports posts, nope. It's Four Loko Seltzer for Nick that gets him off Facebook.
But you know me. I don't post that much more on Facebook. I mean, I posted about how Uprocks decided that they were going to do a Madden 2020 experiment, and the Lions went like 8-8 in their little experiment.
I mean, they can.
No, they're not. Don't even get me started.
I said they can. I didn't say they will.
Yeah, they can. I mean, shit. Even the Patriots can go 8-8. Even the freaking Bengals can go 8-8. The
Yeah,
Dolphins can go 8-8. Anyone can go.
You're
8-8.
asking way too much of the
I
Bengals.
I know. Believe me. It's gonna be a long football season.
I mean, I think they're recruiting Dorian for the Dolphins right now.
Oh, gee.
I see what you did there.
What a
And I
jerk.
don't appreciate that.
Can we just mute him now?
Not
I
really.
meant
Let's
for
do
the
soon.
Dolphins, but the Hurricanes, I suppose that works too.
That deserves a mute.
Too
too.
many men on the field. If
Aw,
Do you know why the Abyss is the Ibis rather
Ibis.
is the logo or the mascot for your Hurricanes?
I am unfamiliar with the why.
Because it's the last bird to leave and the first bird to return after a hurricane.
Is it really?
It is. So when all birds vacate, the Ibis is the first one back. That's when you know the hurricane's over.
Well, speaking of schools, we do have a sponsor.
We do.
Really?
Schoolcraft College.
Oh.
Yeah.
Over in
Livonia?
Livonia. That's right. I actually I kind of jumped the gun here. Have you dreamed about owning your own pub someday? Schoolcraft College can help you make that dream come true. SC offers programs that will teach the craft of brewing beer, there we go, as well as the business of owning a pub. For more information, please visit schoolcraft.edu/brewing for more details. And the reason that I wanted to read is because there was a decent little article recently about the breweries and the state of Michigan and the economics of beer in the state of Michigan, because I believe we had, and I'll get the numbers correct here in a minute, 27 open breweries this year and 16 closes so far this year. Now, obviously, we know a lot about the local closings between Sellerman's and Axel, and they weren't necessarily because of the industry itself. Axel had the parking of Livernois kind of destroy the business because there's no street parking. Therefore, it was only parking in the
Street?
well, no, parking in their little parking lot.
It was like the little parking lot. It was about 8 spaces, and not including the one handicap space.
The EV space?
The what?
The EV space?
The EV space. The little bit of the street parking, and then there was the small lot next door that allowed them that business there that allowed them to park there. So yeah, it wasn't a whole lot.
Plus, I mean, it's only 4 blocks north of 8 Mile, and there's no armed security.
Yeah, the travesty of that bullshit. Oh my god, I hate people who rate shit. Anybody want any more of the Wakanda Wake Up
Give it a shot.
coffee stout, white coffee stout? Have you
Oh, that's a
tried that?
growler. I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, it looks like just a thermos, but that's a pretty legit growler from what brewery over there?
That came from Baffin.
From
Boffin?
Yeah.
I've
it was
corrected myself.
Boffin
one
Fresh?
of one of the earlier shows that we had Baffin on that I got this. And shout out to Cat and Brew Works for not shitting on me walking in with a howler that doesn't even have their brewery's name on it. But definitely a complete shout out to Cat and Brew Works for this amazing coffee stout. This stuff is amazing.
This is really fucking good.
Yeah. I mean, putting this up against, I pretty much have Eastern Market's white coffee stout on a weekly basis, and these two could definitely go toe to toe. And I'm not sure right now which one would win, because Eastern Market hasn't had the regular coffee stout on in a couple weeks, just a double coffee, and that one is just, as far as coffee is concerned, is way more potent.
I think there's a finishing component. Like this nose doesn't make me think of the color of the beer. This nose makes me think it's 8 o'clock in the morning and I'm taking my first sip of actual coffee. But this looks like a yellow lager, which is kind of a mind fuck. It's like that Kool-Aid that you got back in the 90s that was purple, but it was strawberry, and the red one that was great. They did this whole contest.
Don't get me started on that shit.
So the document that I finally brought up. So Cranes Detroit did the article, and the official numbers are 22 open breweries this year as of August 20th, 2018, with 15 closings. Therefore, we've netted 7 new breweries this year in the state.
That's kind of crazy, even though just in the last couple of months that we're still netting a positive here.
Yep. So
And
this is the reason.
and there's more coming.
Yeah, the reason I brought it up, CEO from Atwater Beer, Mark Reith, responded, new guys should just avoid distribution and stay in the tap room. If you're going to open a brewery, make sure you're the only brewery in town. Own the local market. It's more profitable that way.
I mean, well, and I think it's kind of, because, I mean, he's not the only brewery in town, which, I don't know. I guess I just kind of take that one way or the other. I'm not really sure.
Who's this?
I mean, we're talking Atwater. Because, I mean,
Which one, though?
Well, I mean, you talk about the one that's here in Detroit, then, they're not the only brewery in town because you've got Brew Detroit, Batch, Eastern Market.
But who opened up after them? Brew Detroit,
Batch,
Eastern
Market.
And also, I mean, if I'm living near Atwater, I'm not going to go to Batch that often because it's on the other side of the goddamn hemisphere. Like, it's probably literally like a 4-mile hike.
Yeah, depending on the time of day, it's a low MPH over
Yeah.
on Jefferson, but also the traffic can get really congested over there.
I mean, this is like, you could probably take a scooter and be there in like 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But the same rate, like, I think Detroit is a outlier because it's such a big city. Like, if you're in a smaller city, yes, own that city, do it really
If
well.
this was Livonia, or hell, let's go even smaller scale. If this was like Pleasant Ridge,
or no,
Lathrop Village,
if this was Plymouth, like
Plymouth,
do you really
yes.
need? I mean, I wish Joe all the best, but I mean, now there's going to be an Arbor right across the street. Is that either going to detract from people going to Joe's Tap House, or is that going to bring more people into Plymouth, like beer tourism, because now they can hit 2 different establishments on the same trip, and they'll drink a little bit from A, a little bit from B.
I mean,
But how many of the regulars are going to say, "Hey, we're just going to go over to Arbor because of"? I mean, I'm guessing they're going to have food, right?
Well, I guess
they're attached to a Beagalora, so
So yeah,
and that depends on if people want to go to downtown Plymouth or they want to be on the outskirts. They are close, but they are. I mean, in a way, to me, they're almost like McDonald's close. Like you could pass a McDonald's, and all of a sudden, 5 minutes later, you see another McDonald's. They have a little bit of distance
Is that
between.
because
each
you're
other.
driving a McDonald's and you always think of the car that you're driving when you see it on the road?
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, I could go for a McGriddle right now. I mean, there is a little bit of a difference. So it's not like, somebody's gonna go to one and then just be like, you know what, I want to go to the other because this one doesn't have as good enough beer, or I want to have different beer.
Well, wasn't there going to be a second brewery in Northville, Michigan, the home of North Center Brewing? In Northville,
well, there is
Michigan?
There's 3 breweries in Northville right now.
So there's a brewery, North Center Brewing,
North Center
just
Brewing.
south of Baseline Road
Yep.
in Northville.
on North Center Road.
Go check them out. Say hi to Cody and brush up on some shuffleboard because I'm going to just start coming in there and whopping people one day. They actually have really
you're
good
not.
food there, too.
They do have good food there.
check that out.
Their food program for how small their kitchen is really good.
It's sneaky good.
They need to get a kitchen to.
Yeah.
I mean, I could understand taking away from that kind of mindset
space, yeah.
and feeling, but in the same sense, like you give someone with that kind of talent making those types of foods a proper kitchen, and life can change.
Yeah.
We were so you got North Center Brewing, you have Northville Brewery and Winery and Brewery, one of the two.
One of the two.
Winery, yeah.
They make beer though, and they sell. It's not like it's they kind of make beer. No, they have 4 or 5.
They lead wine. They're wine first,
They
right?
they do lead wine,
Like
but
Blake's
you're
is a
still
cidery
you're
that
still
makes beer?
talking. Yeah, but they also have Matt Wiles up there over at Blake's, which they're going hard into the beer industry because they can. So you have, and then you also have what's the big chain around here that I can't think of the name of it.
Granite City.
Granite City is up there too.
I don't even think of Granite City as a brewery.
It is a brewery, though. You got to understand is that in regards to even in beer tourism, unless you're in these snob ass groups that we are in, you look at Granite City as a brewery. The local Joe who sees, oh, there's a beer fest going. The ones that are going to any type of beer fest that isn't going for the whales, like they're going to the Royal Oak Beer Festival. They're going to the Jimmy John's Beer Festival over on October 12th.
Yeah, go to jimmyjohnsfield.com or the USPBL and check out. Tickets are now available.
There you go.
$20 to get in.
Naming a couple of breweries this week.
Yeah, a lot of breweries.
Yeah.
Kids under 12 will be free, and they'll have a whole area for pumpkin painting and carving and all that stuff for the kids if you want to drop them off and have a couple of beers too. So it's a full family affair, and if you like to throw discs or frisbees at chainmail, you can come and do that as well.
I had to think about that one for a minute.
I don't know what it's properly called.
It's the Ace Race.
Sure.
Yeah. So
It's not called the Ace Race. It's the Ace Run.
Ace Run, whatever.
Ace Race
Ace
is
Run. Is that Discraft?
yes, it is very specific.
Trademark.
To
All right,
just trademark. There you go.
The Ace Run.
But that's the thing though is that these people aren't going to. They're looking for a brewery, not like the whales. They're not looking. They see Granite City as a brewery, and they're going to go to Granite City.
Oh, totally. I mean, if you go to Granite City in Troy, it's in the business district. No one's going to go out of their way to go to, I don't know, Founders Detroit when they have Granite City with all the food and everything right down the road.
And
regardless,
as we're talking, Founders Detroit opened up in Detroit after Atwater. There's another brewery opening up in Detroit next month, like a couple blocks between Founders and the Triangle of Jolly Pumpkin, Motor City, and Traffic Jam.
Yeah, Charlie Pumpkin.
What's the new brewery?
Nine Rouge.
Nain Rouge?
Nain Rouge.
Nain Rouge.
Oh, the Red Devil. Right?
Interesting.
It's on Selden Street over in the Cass Corridor area.
Really?
Is that by Honest John's then?
Yes.
Yes, it would be.
Yeah.
Wow. Fascinating.
So they're gonna open up faster than Faison because we're still. I know their Faison's been building out
and Bent Rim and yeah, there's a lot of breweries in there that are still opening up down in Detroit.
Yeah.
Wow.
But they had a $20 million investment because there's
geez.
apartments there too. And
Oh yeah, okay.
Dude, those apartments went for $400,000 for 2 bedrooms.
Yeah.
Those went crazy.
Once you brought that, that reminded me of the article and the whole, and I think they said they were gonna do something about actually running brewery classes out of there too. So at least what I thought I heard, but I could be
It's some
wrong.
expensive
yeah,
real
that
estate.
that Cass Corridor, they're getting Condado's Tacos, which you guys never had.
Condado's Tacos.
You should know that. That's from Columbus.
I've heard
That's a
I've
taco
heard,
chain from Columbus.
I've heard of it. I have not experienced it yet.
It is the only place that I've ever worked in where, in a good way, I got kicked out because I was working with my point of sale company. They opened soft opening 6:00, no fanfare, no posts, nothing. This was in Columbus. Didn't tell a soul. They just let word of mouth spread. By 6:30, I was sitting at the corner seat of the bar.
AM?
PM.
Okay.
So they open at 6:30. Place is packed, and I'm sitting at one seat at the bar. Well, then I have to give up that seat because there's a line behind me. So then I'm trying to sit, and I'm like, well, I can't stand behind the bar because I'm going to be on my phone doing things, and I'm going to look like a shitty employee of Condado's, even though I'm not one. So I went into the kitchen. Well, sooner or later, I was in the way of everyone in the kitchen because they're making so many tacos and turning tables that I go and I hide in the freezer. Well, because everything they keep going into have to go into the walk-in cooler so many times to refill things that I'm in people's way again. So I tell the guy, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go to my car. Call me if you need me. I'm not leaving. I'm just going to be in the parking lot. Well, they needed my spot in the parking lot. So the guy goes, you know what? I got your number. I'll call you if I need you.
Do you know whereabouts in Columbus this was?
I mean, I could look it up real quick.
Was it like a
but
downtown area?
It was
or
not a downtown area. It was in like a small little strip mall.
Was it a north side of Columbus?
You're asking questions that I don't remember the answer to. The story's better than the location.
Well, no, I mean, for my reference point, Columbus is a fun town. It's a lot like a Grand Rapids. It sucks to be there often, but it's a nice place to visit.
Yep, and as you said, 14 residential units at 420,000 at that building for the brewery. So,
Solid standard, yeah.
You're spending 420K, and you have a brewery inside your apartment. So,
that's going in the Selden Standard building, right? Oh shit!
More hipster.
You're gonna smell like
more hipsters.
Smell like bread when you wake up and they're mashing in.
Yeah, hey,
so what do you guys think though of the upcoming? Like you see all these breweries. Angela's in the chat. She says hi.
Hi, Angela.
These breweries are still coming in. They're still opening. If you go to mibeermap.com, you still see all these breweries that are opening, but those red dots are starting to fill up really fast. I agree with the CEO of Atwater in regards to the fact that if you want to be in the brewing business right now, the only way to be it in Michigan is to open up a local brewery.
Definitely.
Local brew pub, place where people can come congregate and watch. But what do you guys think?
I mean, I kind of feel like a lot of the breweries that have started and just basically just gone off with a bang, like Roke, where we had them come in and hell, before we knew it, they were already showing up with bottles and getting ready to distribute.
Well, Roke and Axel are really different because Axel took over Milking It, which took over their production facility in Royal Oak, as well as their intention to open up Livernois Tap. So to make money, they had to distro their beer because remember, they were distroing before they opened up Livernois Tap. They went to Livernois Tap and they took away their distro.
Yeah, that's true.
Roke, on the other hand, was opened by a distributor, not like someone who is in distribution, I should say, not a distributor itself. So their main goal was we're going to open with full distro.
Yeah.
I suppose though, the two different stories. I mean, there's different amounts of money behind it. Like,
they both had money behind it.
but I guess
with the smaller ones, it's that they don't have that money.
Yeah, but I mean, I know this is near and dear to you, but like the money that started Roke wasn't the kind of money that started Sellerman's. So my thought is like when you can rush the gate to distro if you've got a Brinks trunk in your backyard. Whereas I think that article isn't talking about, but kind of beating around the bush is not only do you need to master just be your corner spot, don't rush to distro either, because we're seeing a shrinking shelf space. We're seeing Baffin has one SKU, Sellerman's has two, and it gets lost in the 7 SKUs of Bells, 5 SKUs of Shorts, 7 of Founders. Like Old Nation's got 5 SKUs at all time. I mean, there just isn't enough space anymore in the beer store. Like Zatuna Liquor in Rochester Hills, just south of M59.
Damn,
there isn't any more space in that place for him to sell beer.
Nobody's getting any bigger coolers.
Nobody's getting bigger coolers.
And more breweries are coming into the state.
Yeah.
Did you remember that Hoof Hearted came into the state?
Yeah, when
Because
Hoof
nobody
Hearted came
fucking
in.
knows.
What kind of
Urban Artifact came in less than a month ago.
21st Century came in this week.
21st Century this week with Hell or High Watermelon.
I mean, it's just like, I think, and I've been saying this for years, the brewery is the new shot in a beer joint, the place for everyone to congregate, for people to stop on the way home. It's no longer, I have to drive to Richmond to go to Star Craft Brewing. I went there because I had a showing up there, but I wouldn't just say, fuck it, I'm going to drive 40 minutes north on 94.
What are we going to do for our Saturday night? Hey, let's go all the way out to Richmond.
Right.
Well, I mean, there's reasons too. I mean, not really many, but
But I mean, if you want, going back to the article, wanting something that's local and to do something that's local and be something that is, one of the first, if not the only thing in your only brewery in your city, Supernatural. I mean, there's not a whole hell of a lot that's going on in, that part of Livonia other than Supernatural right now.
How far is Supernatural from One Under?
I mean, Supernatural basically, you could say they're about
if you
5 miles apart.
If you want a hem and haw, I can give you the.
No, I don't know anything about the west side of the city. So if you tell me they're 20 minutes apart versus 2 minutes apart, I would.
You believe both.
Well, yeah. I mean, basically, I guess for everybody's local, I'm just start throwing out streets.
Right,
so basically, Supernatural
they
is
are
Plymouth and Levan.
2.5 miles away, 5 minutes.
2.5. Okay.
Yeah. So if you are looking for one under, which is over at
5 in Levan.
5 in Levan, and then you have Plymouth and
basically Levan. Between Levan and Newburgh.
Yep. Plymouth, Newburgh, Ann Arbor Road.
Well, so here's a question for you guys that I don't know if that article touches, but it kind of sure it skirts the market. There's been a huge rise in traditional chain restaurants carrying craft beer and one-off craft beers. Like when I sold beer to B-Dubs, and they would seldom have anything more crafty than a Blue Moon or a Liney. But now,
They got
They
M43.
get, I was going to say they get Sam Adams in there.
I think Liney is equally craft to Sam. I'm talking.
Okay.
They didn't have micro craft. They had macro craft. But now you can find M43 and you can find small breweries again, probably because they're signing up with distributors. But there's a proliferation of these companies that are carrying what's the place?
I can't tell you.
It's the gastropub thing.
BJ's?
No, BJ, but BJ's
Sedona to
BJ's is an example.
Steampunk.
Steampunk's an example. BJ
Sedona.
Sedona is an example.
Yep.
Fuck, what's it called? They're at all the malls. It's at the mall. The Unhappy Hour.
Sbarro's?
Bar Louie.
Bar Louie.
Okay.
All these places
I
that
like Sbarro's better.
when you say Sbarro's, all I think is the pizza place.
Yeah, that's what
That's
I
the
was talking
point. Because you don't have it anywhere else other than the malls.
I see these gastropubs, this new hipster thing of cheap appetizers and craft beer, which I feel almost. If I can go to a B-Dubs and have beer from Livonia in my backyard, I don't go to B-Dubs. I won't. But if I can have a place like that where I can get supernatural beer on the east side, is almost, more attractive than going all the way to Livonia, driving 40 minutes each way to get beer.
But I mean, wouldn't they see that kind of the other way? Whereas if you're sitting on the east side and you go to one of those places and they have something from Supernatural, you try it and you like it, wouldn't that then possibly be kind of that gateway to say, hey, you know what? I had that one beer from Supernatural. Let's go out there and check it out.
What it would do is it would tell me next time I'm in the area, I'll stop by and go. But I'm not, maybe it's me, maybe it's my fear of getting a giant fear of getting a DUI. I don't want to drive really any extended period of time, more than 10 to 15 minutes, drink, and then chance it on the way home. I mean, right now the state is, for the last 4 weeks, the state of Michigan's been upping, like they've just been pulling people over left and right for no reason.
Especially in the last few days.
Metro Detroit, 696, we were lied to and we were told construction was done, but the construction barrels are in full bloom still, where it's down to one lane.
Yep,
94, you can't drive anywhere.
It's close again. I hope you know that, right?
Huh?
It's gonna close again.
I'm sure it
for
will.
like 6 months.
So why? It was still supposed to be done
Mount
in
Road's
January.
going to close again next year.
To
But
do
like
the,
literally-
to do the other part.
Well, but west of Telegraph, not on our side of town.
No, on our side of town.
Fucking Christ. But like, I'm just sick of construction, all of the shit that goes on. It's just like it. I said that again. I said it a couple weeks ago.
Well, shit, you're in paradise. You've got Baffin, you've got Jamex, you're about to have Dragon Mead,
And Copper Hop will be on the show in a couple of weeks. Is opening up too.
right?
Well,
And you head to Ricolta too.
well,
right
here's
in there.
And Atwater.
Yeah.
Atwater in the park. So you have a new thing that's coming out, and this is kind of what I learned this week in regards to breweries that are not necessarily breweries, and that is contracting the name of breweries at specific places. So these aren't places owned by those breweries, but they are contracted. You buy it, you buy their beer, you buy the licensing of that brewery, and that's it. And where we see this is at the North Terminal in DTW.
Okay.
So they have
Is
an
that the nice terminal?
Oh no, it's not. That's McNamara.
That's Mac. Yeah.
So wait, hold on. I'm trying to make sure I'm not confused here. So you're talking about this is beer that is already being made, and these places are just simply paying for the beer to call it their own.
No,
So private label
they're paying for the beer and they're paying for the name. So Atwater is in DTW, but Atwater does not own Atwater Brewery at the airport.
So there's a brewery in the airport, but
there's a restaurant
okay
with the name Atwater Brewery who paid Atwater Brewery to use the name Atwater Brewery.
Kind of like Lumen
to buy
downtown.
the beer Atwater Brewery.
Is it kind of like Lumen downtown?
I don't know what Lumen is.
It's the one in Beacon Park. That's owned and operated. I think that's operated by Griffin Claw.
correct. The Park Bar, isn't it called Park?
So
it's in Beacon Park, but it's called Lumen.
yeah. So that is owned.
I'm thinking of
by,
Capital Park then.
Yeah,
that is owned by the company that owns Griffin Claw. This is a random company. I don't know the name of it. It's probably HMS, who paid Atwater to use their name.
Okay.
Paid Atwater to buy their beer.
Okay.
And is selling it under the Atwater name, although Mark Reith has nothing to do with this
So
company.
the only money he makes is what he got from the original sale.
From the licensing
From
of
the
his
licensing.
From the
and
licensing.
from his distributor who's selling his beer to the airport.
That is correct.
Wow.
And there is another brewery that's going to be opening up once McDonald's moves to their new digs.
Whack Arnold's?
Yeah. Once McDonald's moves to their new digs, McDonald's and Hockeytown are going to close. So the old McDonald's and Hockeytown.
Again in the airport.
In the airport.
Okay.
And it's going to open up a Jolly Pumpkin where they're licensing the name Jolly Pumpkin.
Wow.
And is going to sell Jolly Pumpkin beer.
But do you I don't know if outside of Michigan Jolly Pumpkin would move because it's such a it feels like that it feels like a very Metro Detroit-y taste because they're usually sour beers. They're on the forefront of innovation. It's like the Coney Dog White Claw that I saw floating around. on the internet. Like it's a very Michigan flavor.
Hot dog flavored water.
That's I was working at the National
Okay,
Kona
Fred.
Island today. And,
Oh, when it almost got killed. Oh, that was Lafayette. That almost blew up.
no, I was at the National at the airport. Fun fact: if you're not a known crew member or known travel person, so you're not a known vendor or anything like that, I feel kind of left out that you didn't bring any for me.
I did. Would you like one?
I would love one.
I mean, it's in the taste test.
no, well,
I know. I'm sure that's
I'm
later.
We're getting
I'm
some
all the
later,
extras,
so
yeah.
apparently-
Which one would you like?
just give me one. The
Give 'em the ruby
blackberry,
grapefruit.
cherry, whatever.
Oh, you're giving that
Yeah,
one.
black
Dark
cherry.
black
I
cherry.
said blackberry cherry, but
So
it's black
you know
cherry.
you've left the Natter days for the losers.
That's fine.
I feel like
There's now more White Claw on the table than anything.
I was gonna say that it just feels like there's, I don't know, it just feels like there's some inherent risk to selling your license and passing this off. And well, I mean, it's your beer. If something goes wrong with your beer, then yeah, it is on you.
Yeah,
But
because they're not
it's-
making any beer any there. So their beer choices, because they have a digital pour menu, is all Atwater, Miller Lite, and Angry Orchard cider.
You got yourself quite the choice there.
Why the fuck would they have Miller Lite in there? You
to
know why?
sell. Do you want to know this place? So if you walk by
Hold
this
on,
place,
I gotta stop. So Rob just had the grapefruit White Claw. I need you to talk me through what's going through your brain right now. Have you swallowed yet?
do you want to chug it?
Have you swallowed it yet?
Yes, it has been.
Are you gonna have a nosebleed?
So I want beer snob Rob. I want his thoughts on the White Claw.
Beer snob Rob.
Come on, talk us through it. Well,
I mean,
when it hit your mouth, what was your thought?
My gosh.
it was pretty much like water with some foreign substance that I couldn't figure out what it was.
What
grapefruit.
Is this what you poured me? The grapefruit?
Yeah.
I mean, it basically, it's. I don't know what the hell.
I don't. I'll stick with the lime.
It's like basically if you poured a glass of clearly Canadian, but instead of using
Clearly Canadian.
but in,
That was clearly Canadian.
It's that flavored water.
Yeah.
Back from it was like really big in the 90s.
It was,
and
was.
It's not making a comeback.
I could have went New York Seltzer, but New York Seltzer had more taste. But I mean, it basically it's like a clearly Canadian if you pour it out in a glass and then actually just use Road Rocks as ice.
Road Rocks.
Like ice salt? Like rock salt?
Like basically you grabbed a bunch of rocks off the ground, you put it in a freezer and let them get cold, and then you just threw the rocks in a glass.
Where do you come up with these ideas?
I don't know.
Nick, what was your thought? What's your thought?
It's not my favorite. I don't like the ruby grapefruit.
Well,
I'll say I like the lime. Personally.
While you guys moan and groan, we are going to take a quick break. We will be right back. And once again, you can chat with us, actually. We're on Facebook Live every single Friday.
Send some questions.
7 p.m. Talk to us. Chat with us. Join the chat, just like Harry Weaver. There we go. Eric Ripke from Phillips is in the chat saying hello to everyone. Obviously,
Hey.
former host Angela was in the chat as well. We've had a few other people hop into the chat. So come on, join us live every Friday, 7 to 9. We will be right back with the Better on Draft podcast.
I'm headed for the city, trouble in my mind. I'm way too young and pretty for things to be unkind. Time is all we have now, so let's make something while we can. I'm headed for the city to make me start again. Conversation now and then. Gotta go, gotta get it. Don't make things go south, baby. Oh, 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 yeah. Oh, 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 I'm headed for the city, see what I can unwind. Always gotta start it to dictate, make it in this life. Time is all we have now, so let's make something while we can. I'm headed for the city to make me start again. Conversation now and then. Gotta go, gotta get it. Don't make things go south, baby. Oh, 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 yeah. Oh, 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 These eyes ain't looking back home. No, I'm now by myself on this road. People say you get too broken, they just can't find a little soul. Light up a cig and let's get talking, talking that rock and roll. It's more than just a style to play. It can get you what you need, just let it take you away. If you're ever feeling down, forget about the bullshit, dance your worries away. People say you get too woken. They just can't find a little soul. Light up the cig and let's get talking. Talking that rock and roll. Sit right back, relax and chill. Let me lead you on your trip, see how that rhythm feels. Don't let troubles cloud your mind. It's only in your head, you are so mighty fine.
And we are back, episode 191, Better on Draft podcast.
Penis, no
And
penis.
as always, with segment
Here
2.
is Robert with the beer news.
From Step Brothers.
Hold on, guys. I'm going to be like every guest.
Is this allowed? You have to say Bush.
This is my White Claw Hard Seltzer Black Cherry. Because why not mix beer, whiskey, and hard seltzer?
Dude, you're gonna have a rumble in your tumble.
Yeah. a little
And
bit.
I will follow.
What are you drinking over there?
I am drinking the island-inspired Double Seesaw. It is an American Goza ale with passion fruit, pineapple, toasted coconut, and sea salt.
Yes, please.
What's the flavor on it? Because there's a bunch of them. There's Double Seesaw guava, raspberry, and plum.
They just, it does not distinguish. Just simply just goes through that whole list. Just simply Double Seesaw.
All right.
Unless there's something on the side.
It looks like it says that looks like that might be the passion fruit, toasted coconut, and
Correct.
sea salt, pineapple. There you go. So so obviously all those flavors I named were not the names that I said. So if you were paying attention, Robert,
Yeah, I heard my theme. I'm good. You wanna start?
before you go into the no, I'm just kidding. I don't. I know I do that all the time. Do you? Actually, I do want a little bit.
Well,
of this.
did you want to finish talking about private labeling like you were talking about, or franchising?
No, not really.
Okay.
I mean, there's not much else to talk about, unless you had something else to add.
No, not at all.
I mean, y'all want to talk about some brewery that had 90% of their steak bought this week?
60%.
I think we're gonna.
Well,
yeah,
total 90, but 60.
I mean, if you own 30 and you buy the other 60, is it really 60 or is it really 60 of 70%, which is like 90%?
Wait, what the fuck did you just say?
1
plus 1 plus 2 plus 1.
Well, if
One
you
plus
own 30 and
equals the slope of an angle.
if you own
MX plus B.
Tim
if
Curry
you
for
own
your
30
ass.
and you buy the next 60%, you're buying 86% more of the brewery.
Sure. I mean,
Sure. That's all you get.
The math. I used a calculator.
Anyways, so apparently this big thing hitting the news that Founders is apparently no longer Kraft anymore now that they
Founders was not Kraft before. 1, 2.
I knew that
No
was gonna
matter
get you too.
no matter how many times I say it, I don't fucking care.
I know.
I
know.
just care about the hypocrisy of everyone
that's
else.
The thing is that everybody else does, and that's what.
Oh yeah, I saw all the butt hurts. I saw all the people complaining. I'm like, whatever. If they make good beer, they make good beer. Get the fuck out
Can
of
we
here.
please cue the $1 Million Man's music like right now?
No, we can't.
I know.
the $1 Billion Man's music, probably.
because I mean it is
There you go. Here's the
it is
sound.
proof that everybody has a price.
Everybody has a price.
And
And their price is probably really freaking big.
Probably, but San Miguel has now stepped in, and they have purchased an additional 60%.
All right, we're trying this.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I love you for that, Ken. I appreciate
We'll probably get a DMCA on YouTube now.
Right. Probably it should have
it. We'll just edit it out. That's just for us.
have the CEOs do some push-ups.
Just throw 100 at him.
Just throw 100 at them. Exactly.
All right, go for it, Rob.
So basically, San Miguel has stepped in and bought an additional 60%, now making their stake 90% of Founders Brewing, and now essentially almost own the whole damn company. Obviously, your regular owners, for some reason I can't remember their
Dave and Mike, I believe.
Yeah, those
Standard generic white man names. Enter.
Mike and Dave.
Generic
Generic
Bible names. Biblical names. From the book of David and the book of Michael.
Basically, they're saying the same as if any other brewery that has gotten purchased and acquired by ABV or Coors or Heineken, that operations are not going to change, nothing is going to change, everything is going to stay the same. It's essentially that they have new bosses, so that's pretty much what it is. They've been around. Founders have been around for quite a while. But I guess now they've got some new bosses.
Is this? Do we play chaps for this too? Like, do we play the whatever?
You mean taps?
Taps, yeah.
They're not dead.
But I mean, they're no longer craft. I guess
They're
they're fully.
They haven't been. I would say they haven't been crafted like 7 years.
But they've taken like the step into Leinenkugel territory. Like they're a craft label that's no longer craft. They're Blue Moon.
Listen, we might be better on draft, a craft beer podcast on iTunes, which you can subscribe, Podcast Addict, Spreaker, anywhere else that you get your podcasts.
The podcast app on your iPhone.
Yeah, the podcast app on your iPhone. You can check it out. You can even say, "Hey Google, play Better on Draft."
On your smart speaker. Hi, smart speaker. Play Better on Draft.
So you can do that and get it all. I don't remember why I was mentioning. It's just because we're a craft beer podcast doesn't mean we've talked about distilleries, we've talked about meaderies, cideries. It doesn't matter. The fact is beer is beer, and as North Center always tells us, no matter what you think. Oh no, that's us.
No.
If you like it, it's a good beer.
beer.
There you go.
Exactly.
I was getting a little confused.
Do we have any idea what this deal is worth yet? Has there been any leaks about
No,
it?
they're never gonna. No one's ever gonna release numbers.
It's two people having.
I mean, that's like
they're a privately owned business.
that's like NFL and Madden or DirecTV. No one there releases numbers.
You might get something because I think San Miguel is publicly traded in Spain, and like the stock market.
They were Filipino.
San Miguel,
Spanish.
or no, they're Spanish.
Interesting.
They've got branches. I think they do have.
Yeah, they might have a Philippines branch,
Yeah.
but Mahu San Miguel is based out of Spain.
So according to Brewbound, when they purchased the 30% stake in 2014, it was valued at more than $96 million at the time.
Shit.
Wow, and that was before they started coming out with shitty versions of CBS.
Now that they own 90%.
Ooh. So here's the question: is will people say, "Man, CBS or KBS tasted so much better when it was made by Founders in 2019, 20, or 21?" Because we know the KBS is already in barrels, so there's not much they could do about that beer anyways. It's been brewed, it's being aged.
Well, they already said that CBS is discontinued,
Yes.
which I don't
Well,
know.
no. They
Who
said
cares?
that they
You can go
won't
buy
make
it-
it for a long time.
And I wonder if that news was made by them or if that was also in conjunction with the.
It was probably
because it was like morning, no more CBS.
You ready?
Afternoon, we're now San Miguel.
You ready? I'm going to tell you exactly. Because you can still go buy CBS off of any fucking shelf in the entire state.
Yes.
Not just Western Michigan, because usually Western Michigan you can find it, but over here you can't.
Right.
No, you can buy it on every single shelf. They're probably trying to get rid of it so that they can make room for more CBS next year.
Where the KBS is sitting next to it as well.
My business mind says that if you create your own scarcity, you're going to be fine.
Right.
So I think people are going to start picking it up now that they see it, knowing that it's going to be gone.
But do you think they'll start drinking it, the ones that they already have, and
I
go buy
mean-
another one?
Well, I mean, according to them and sending out an email, you should drink it because it's not meant to be shelved.
Well,
I quit.
Yes, the brewer makes the beer for you to drink now.
Now.
Unless
Yeah, they
on
do.
the label it says to enjoy after.
Right.
Thank you, Stone, or enjoy by.
Enjoy
Thank
by.
you, Stone. The only other brewery that I know that actually has like a date or a suggestion is Dogfish Head 120 that says, hey, you should sell her this for a couple years. And at that point, that's kind of shitty. They should just sell her it for a couple years and then give it to
sell
me.
it, and then they could probably sell it for even more.
Yeah, I mean, there you go, right there. If you do that and you make it the way it is, you could probably easily tack on a couple extra dollars.
Right.
But then it's like hop slam. If you try one of the 4-pack every year, you get to taste the different.
Yeah, but
Like-
Hop
like Nick
Slam
likes to do.
isn't made to be aged, whereas they don't tell you to age it. Whereas Dogfish Head 120
Not in my mind.
says it, or sorry,
Yeah.
is it Sam Adams 120 now?
It's
No.
it's
Oh, I
dog,
see what you did there.
Dogfish Sam. I don't know.
Samfish
Samfish
Is
Head.
that Boston Lager 120?
Utopias 120.
Utopia,
Something like that.
I still haven't tried a Utopia.
I had it. It was
I
tastes like Christian Brothers.
I saw it at World Expo of Beer, but I let all the other actual people volunteering and not me because I wasn't volunteering try it when they brought it because they always send Utopia to the World Expo of Beer to get rated.
Yeah.
It's like a bad brandy.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess with Founders, it's just like any other. Well, not necessarily any other acquisition because San Miguel had already owned a third, but it's 2014. Sometimes that's old news, and suddenly you have this coming out in the news outlets that San Miguel now has a majority stake. That do you think people are just gonna start freaking out and say, "Oh, you guys are sellouts"?
Yes.
Yes.
We're not gonna
Have
touch
you, have
we're not
you
gonna touch
not
your stuff
seen
anymore.
Dakby and I saw Alex.
It seems like it's been kind of quiet. Or am I just not seeing the post?
Oh, it actually took me a while to dig down to find the post, even though it's been completely updated. But I found the post. But like Alex, who we've had on the show from Founders, is talking. Big brewery buys another big brewery. Again, we talk about the $1 million man theory of beer. Everyone's got a price, and sooner or later, people are going to sell out. Short sold out part of their money, and nobody gave two shits about it. 19.99%. People still go crazy and wait in line for Goose Island.
Hell, we had Steven from Batch on, and we brought that question to him as if ABI showed up with a blank check, would you do it? And he's like, I'm looking out for my employees.
I'm a business.
I'm a business man, exactly. And yeah, if they came knocking, and I saw that I got to take care of all of my employees and probably set them for quite a long time.
Benefits.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, I'll do it.
I'll always go back to my conversation that I had with the bartender at Wicked Weed over in Asheville, North Carolina. And I asked him, I said, what happened? Because he was there for when the buyout happened and post, obviously, because I talked to him after the fact. And I asked him, what happened? And he said, you know what? The first 2 weeks were hell because a lot of people locally were upset that we sold to a big company locally because Asheville prides themselves on being a small town, no big business or anything like that type city. He said after a month, business went back to normal. Nobody gave two shits.
Yeah.
And now I have benefits.
Right.
And that was the first thing he mentioned. It wasn't like a pay increase or anything. Now I have benefits. And the difference between having benefits and not having benefits, like I talked to my sister right now, and my sister is talking about trying to figure out ways to get her medicine from Canada because she can't get benefits. And speaking of which, I off air conversation, but yeah, she was talking about how to get her medicine from Canada because she needs birth control and it's $180 per month.
Shit.
And she can get it for such cheaper in Canada. And I wound up going to whatever local CVS type store, Shoppers Mart or whatever in Canada, And yeah, somebody else can even pick up your medicine in Canada. So
Did they look at you squirrely when you asked them for birth control?
they did not. I explained to
Because they're
them
progressive and they're Canadian?
I explained to them the situation, and they said the only thing you need to get medicine in Canada as an American is a Canadian doctor to sign off on your prescription.
How was the border? Did you declare?
We declared. I was there 3 days. So I had alcohol that I did pay tax on from the LCBO, from the distillery, and then a couple of bottles from the actual duty-free that we declared.
But did you declare medicine coming back?
No, because we didn't pick anything up because my sister at the time had not had a Canadian doctor sign off on her medicine.
There's that. So I mean, yeah, that's pretty much where it will be. Is that there will be people, like you said, there's the people who are pissed off. In a few weeks, people will start going back, and it will be no different.
As if nothing ever happened.
With exception to myself.
The normal person that we were talking about earlier that goes to Granite City does not give two shits about who owns Founders as long as they like the beer.
Right.
We do not give two shits
How the
about
fuck you like their beer? That's a different question.
I don't give two shits for a bevy of reasons.
Now, hold on. You don't like the business.
I don't like the business.
Now,
but I mean, at this point,
the business is what gives you the bad taste in your mouth for the beer. But if you took away the business from the beer is good. In your opinion, you've had their beer.
I've had it.
Hold on.
I'm
making a point.
Okay.
But because the beer supports the business is why you can't like the beer. Won't like the beer, not can't. Can't sounds like...
Yeah.
Like you can't do
it. Won't is your decision, and that's a good decision.
I mean, won't is my decision. And, there's the very, very small exception should I run into Kevin when he's doing any type of display.
Kevin's a good guy.
Yeah, Kevin's a good guy. I'm not, the dude has a job. I'm not going to sit there and just say, you know what, you work for a shit company, this, that, and cuss him out for anything like that. I'm like, he's a good guy. And, when I ran into him in Holiday the other day, he offered me a sample of Underground Mountain. I said, sure. Dude is a good guy. I'm not gonna sit there and just like spout everything on him because of the situation.
Right.
But outside of that, I'm not touching it. I have no reason to touch it. And with the quality of beer that has been out, either that has come here, that has been in the state, or has come from outside of state, that I don't miss it. I mean, I don't miss KBS because there's far more barrel-aged beers that are out there that I thoroughly enjoy. I mean, one just even at the top of my head is Kentucky from Transient. That blows. If somebody thought putting KBS and CBS together would be the best beer in the world, Kentucky would still beat the shit out of that beer. It's just that damn good. And I mean, there's more than enough that are out there that have, that are aged in maple syrup barrels that kick the shit out of CBS. There's nothing that's on the portfolio for Founders right now that I would even if this wasn't going on, that it just doesn't even look exciting. So it's like, well, I don't even care.
Fair enough.
I don't know how to follow that. So I mean,
So
that's why we're all entitled to opinion.
Even if this situation blows over and it finally gets addressed, great. And it's like Harry has said. From shout out to Bruise Brothers,
the best show that's not better on draft.
Doing it for the fucking culture.
Absolutely.
You watch your mouth.
I know my role.
Like Harry said,
shut your mouth.
We don't want them to sink. They're a brewery. They're part of this beer community that has a problem that needs to get fixed to address some of the people who are part of this community that don't like what's going on. Mm-hmm. We don't want them to sink. But by the time they come back, it just may be like, all right, well, that's great. Congrats. Glad you fixed the problems. I'm going to drafting table. I'll see you later.
Peace out.
I don't know how to. I have nothing to add.
You can't. You can't.
Hey, take the mic off and just drop it real quick.
just kind of way it is.
Mic drop.
All right.
Next topic.
Let's get to another. Let's get to a topic here. All right. So last week, this came about between ABI and the Craft Brew Alliance. This is another potential acquisition because ABI actually owns 30% of the Craft Brew Alliance, which includes brands like Kona, Widmer, Red Hook.
Garbage. Yeah.
I like Widmer.
Yeah, Widmer makes some decent
I don't know a
stuff.
single beer that they've made I've ever had.
So then why'd you call them garbage?
Well, I don't like Kona and I don't like Red Hook. Those are both dust collectors. I feel.
There, okay. So basically, they had an agreement where they ABI's owned 30%, and in the agreement, it was said that they had until August 23rd of this year to either make an offer of at least $24.50 per share to buy the remainder of the company, which essentially would come out to about $327 million.
Damn.
Or they could walk away, just still owning the 30%, but have to pay a fee of $20 million. They decided, we're paying the $20 million, we're walking away.
Wow.
So
But still keep their 30%.
still keep their 30, or actually I think it's 31%.
Okay.
So they still keep the 31%. Craft Brew Alliance still has a distribution contract with ABI, which is still good until 2028. And then I think in addition to that, there is a international distribution agreement with ABI that remains intact until 2026. Now, as far as the CBA, there has been some growth, in particular with Kona Brewing, where their sales have been up, but the rest of the alliance has not done very well, and they've had some decline. So I kind of wonder if that might have been a part of it, and that like the portfolio as a whole, there's really no news outlet that said what the reasons were. But BevNet had said that because of the size of the sale, there would have had to have been an antitrust review, and approval would have needed to have been required from the U.S. Department of Justice and the Federal Trade Commission for that deal to go through. And maybe that might have had something to do with it. But there's also a little bit that is coming off of Kona, because Kona had a lawsuit where they were saying that there was a lawsuit that was saying that Kona was participating in basically false advertising. Because Kona sounds like Hawaii.
Yeah.
Sounds like everything about Hawaii, except the beer's not made in Hawaii. The beer is actually made in, I believe it was Washington, Oregon, New Hampshire, and Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Exactly. So with it not being made in Hawaii, it was kind of this whole deal, which Kona actually settled that lawsuit, I believe, what I read. So right now, Craft Brew Alliance is basically a free agent, and they can look for other potential buyers while they are going to put that $20 million to use and hopefully strengthen their portfolio. But yeah, they're going to have to, I guess, kind of get their chips together and figure out what they're going to do from this point, and whether or not they're just going to stay as they are, or whether or not, as you're whispering, Canarchy, whether or not Canarchy steps in. But I mean, you're talking about.
But then 30% of that would be owned
You're
by
talking about
AB,
that 30% that ABI still owns.
which I just started watching Succession, and you don't want to bring the
So
wolf into the hen house.
you got to bring in that at least that $327 million to take over the remaining shares, and get.
Yeah, and ABI ain't gonna sell at $24.50 a share. They're gonna sell it at a lot higher per share.
Well, no, I mean, that's more of a merger or an acquisition. It's less of a purchase, right?
Well, CBA is technically publicly traded.
Okay.
And
I have free shares.
Yep. So there's a lot to it, but I don't think Canarchy has the liquid assets to come up with that money to.
I don't know if you need liquid assets in this business to. I mean,
What are you going to buy the shares with?
leverage,
Hopes and dreams?
leverage. You have 9 breweries in a Canarchy, right?
What leverage?
The assets of the other breweries are part of Canarchy.
I'm sure there's liens on them too, and loans and everything like that. Like I don't think
and you're
you
talking-
you need liquid to be able to buy. That's the whole reason why everyone's talking about, oh well, Disney can literally eat Sony. Why don't they do it about the whole Spider-Man issue? But in the same sense, Disney doesn't have the liquid assets to buy Sony. They have a lot more money in leverage, quote unquote, but they don't have money in liquid to just destroy Sony.
It's because they destroyed Star Wars, right?
I mean, they destroy everything. Except for the new Aladdin. I like that.
Really?
I liked it.
Did you see it?
I still
I
have
did
not
see it.
seen the new Aladdin yet.
I did see it. It was the two things that I enjoyed about the movie. One, Will Smith was not Robin Williams.
Obviously.
So they recreated the genie and his characteristics to be more Will Smith as opposed to Robin Williams.
Okay.
Two, they did give Jasmine her own song, so they had something new as opposed to just literally recreating the entire movie. So yeah, like that, along with the fact that I enjoyed Aladdin as a kid, I enjoy Aladdin now. Yeah, it's a good movie.
I am excited to see the Joker movie.
The Joker movie looks good,
And I'm excited because I think it's setting up to be a trilogy.
I did like the new Star Wars trailer.
I haven't seen that. Number 9 though. That's it. It's supposed to be the last one.
It is supposed to be the last one.
I'm afraid that they're going to turn it into like 12, 14. I feel like that's going to be like a never-ending story.
I'm telling you right now, there's only one movie series current that's going to go to 12, and it's the Fast and the Furious series.
Oh my gosh.
You know who's in the upcoming Fast
Hobbs
and the
and
Furious
Shaw?
movie, right?
The Rock and Jason Statham.
No, not that one. That's a spinoff. That's not the actual Fast and the Furious
They
movie.
won't be in them anymore, as far as I know.
Because they can't lose fights.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a whole contract thing where Jason Statham cannot lose a fight and The Rock cannot lose a fight in this movie series. So, with that in mind, John Cena is going to be in the new Fast and Furious movie.
WWE Studios is going to purchase that franchise?
No, he's just going to do it.
They got The Rock. They got John Cena.
They got John Cena.
Kane's going to be in it too.
Kane.
somehow.
No, he's too busy being
Glenn Jacobs.
the governor
Mayor of Knox
or
County.
governor
Mark
of Knox
Calloway.
County. Yeah.
Mark Calloway will do it.
Mark Calloway.
Mark Calloway.
That's so. I went to go see Trey Crowder this past Sunday, and great show. And he talks about how like the politics of this world are so crazy that his wife once said, "Hey, you remember the Undertaker and his deformed, burned brother Kane? He is the mayor of Knox County now." And that's the joke because it's just funny that politics is crazy these days.
I saw the Dave Chappelle special.
I have not seen that
Is
yet.
that on Netflix?
It's on Netflix.
It's
yeah.
not going to age
Sticks
well.
and Stones.
It's not going to age well.
Not like a Chris Rock special?
It's reminiscent of an '80s Bill Cosby thing. I think.
Oh, God.
It's gonna age poorly. 10 years, we're gonna be like,
I mean, because like the Chris Rock specials, the stand-up specials, those are still very much watchable.
the last.
today.
Oh yeah, Bigger and Blacker and CR.
There's Bigger and Blacker.
Speaking of bigger and blacker,
Fi-
Rob, why don't you give us one more news
Wow,
story
that
before?
went deep. Oh, what?
Oh my God, Matthew. Matthew, that took you way too long to figure that one out. Rob, news story.
I meant the segue.
Damn. Okay.
Matt's face
All right,
is
all right,
red.
Ron Simmons.
All right.
Matt's face is redder than his
Bright
pants.
red over there.
Your soundboard in the last 2 weeks of me is just gross. My nipples are hard.
All right, so 2019 has been a pretty damn good year for Matt's hard seltzers. Last year, according to Drizzly, the market share, basically what they've been selling on their site, it was sitting at a rather respectable 6%. But this year, apparently, it has jumped all the way up to 19%. Cider sales had dropped from 6 to a 5% share, while top 10 beer brands dropped from 36 to 32% share. Liz Paquette, the head of consumer insights at Drizzly, says consumers are becoming increasingly more health conscious, focusing on beverages that are lower in calories, lower in sugar, and sometimes even non-alcoholic. Continued education and awareness building around flavored and lower calorie products will also be a continued angle.
So for those of you, real quick, that don't know what Drizzly is a app that allows you to deliver beer, alcohol, wine to your abode, wherever you're sitting.
Dwelling.
Kind of like what Ship does locally with Meyer. Drizzly does with liquor stores. And therefore your choices are a little bit more, a lot.
Expansive.
Yeah. Expansive. Better word than a lot.
Yes. So clearly it does not seem like hard seltzers are going anywhere, which kind of actually, let me throw in another piece that goes into this. Because since people are not getting tired of hard seltzers yet, especially when there's the The market research firm Nielsen is projecting the industry to reach $1 billion by the end of 2019.
Jesus.
Only makes sense that there would be time to celebrate all things carbonated water in
Seltzer Fest.
some sort of natural flavoring. So coming September 14th in Denver will be Fizz Fight, which is being billed as America's first hard seltzer festival and tasting competition. According to a report, this report came out last week. It was supposed to be 1,000 tickets that were available for each of the Fizz Fights 2 sessions.
I bought them all like Popeye's chicken.
At the time, there were only a total of 244 tickets that were sold. However, and I thought this was funny, as I had to include this. Former Denver Post cannabis critic Jake Brown said that Denver is notoriously a market where people buy late, so we are incredibly enthused by these pre-sales, especially with zero ad dollars spent yet. No ad dollars. They still already had, at that point, 244
that
tickets.
grassroots campaign is
really
helping.
If it's like anything that he says, that these ticket sales are going to go probably through the roof, coming next week.
It'd be like JBF.
No, it'd be like
Now-
storming Area 51. That's how they're going to hydrate Area 51. Is they're going to have
That's
the
where they're
Fizz
gonna
Fest
start?
right on the
Fizz Fest.
gate.
Now, it was one thing that Brown had mentioned, that this festival is a category that speaks to people who may not feel like they have a place at a traditional beer festival. So obviously we've had the growth. We had kind of this surge last year, and then this crazy build-up this year, with no laws and these cans over here. But is this hard seltzer festival thing going to be something that we're going to see a lot more of next year? Obviously, we're not going to see that much right now, I wouldn't think, because it seems like it's more of a summer thing. And
well, mind you, I didn't know about the festival itself. Like, the information did not get to us since like maybe beginning of August, mid-August.
Yeah.
So unless you're local, you're not going to probably go. As much as Denver's a hub for like Southwest and a few other
Huge.
a few other airports, you might get a few people flying in. But when this is the first one, the next year it's going to be even bigger. But the thing is that next year, now that all these breweries are making hard seltzers, they're going to start sending their hard seltzers to this competition. So you're going to get, Atwater, Perrin. I feel like there's
Natural Light.
I tell you what, it doesn't matter who. Because as you go to GABF and they have Natural Light there, and they have Budweiser, and they have Miller Lite and Coors Light and all these other lagers and light lagers and adjunct lagers. I think it's definitely going to bubble and kind of expand and get a little. 2020, there is going to be a huge seltzer fest that will probably be the biggest it'll ever be. And I'll state my name on that one.
I would akin seltzers to New England IPAs. Think about 2-3 years ago.
You could do a New England IPA festival.
Two years ago, everybody was New England IPA. Now the market is beginning to move, and those that made really good ones, keep them on, and you can still get those. So I think it's going to be the same kind of situation with seltzers. There's going to be some brand identifiers, like White Claw has become the Kleenex.
You go to
Band-Aid.
Baffin. Is Baffin still making Wicked Spot?
Yeah. It's never the same batch though.
Okay.
It's always a different.
They change it up a little bit. Okay.
I think seltzers will become popular in back to our first conversation, the small tap room. Like Eddie at River Rouge right up here has a pretty decent hard seltzer where he brews it and then he throws one single hop into it to call it a beer. So he
doesn't need another license.
Exactly.
I was curious. I'm like, I didn't know River Rouge had a cider maker or a winemaker's license, but
One hop cone.
hey, whatever makes it legal.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to blow. Right now, it's the Nexus, if you will, the Summit, and it will fizz out, pun intended. But White Claw's not going anywhere. Truly isn't going anywhere.
Bon and Vive.
The official hard seltzer of the NFL.
I think Bon and Vive and those smaller fringe will fall off, but I think you'll always, just like Angry Orchard.
Give me a year and I'll
put.
put money on it.
Well, I mean, no.
Bonavive, give me a year and I'll put money on it.
Give me 3 and I'll put money on it.
That's why I said not a year singular. Give me the year you think that they're going to fall off.
2022, they'll be bought or they'll no longer be in session.
Oh, I can't bet that with the whole they'll be bought.
I'll pay for your wedding tuxedo. But anyways, like there's gonna be some standard pairs. Like White Claw is gonna be the M43 of the New England IPAs. There's gonna be some planets in the orbit, but we'll have moved on to something like non-sparkling alcohol, like flat alcohol, like Dasani, but with 5% alcohol.
Speaking of moving on, we're going to move on to our break, which is sponsored by the Ferndale Set. This is Brother Son, Better on Draft Podcast.
Mama, please don't make me go. Yeah, I don't wanna go so far from home. Yale's got me riding that wave. I got my money where my mind is, and I like it that way. Ha! You pick me up when I'm down. I snip you up. It takes me all around. You pick me up when my feelings are down. I snip you up. It takes me all around. Yeah. I know that you're feeling this way, but please believe me what I'm trying to say. Drink some water for your cotton mouth. Put some drops in and then hit the town. Nobody will know what you're doing secret. All you got to do is just keep your shit together. You pick me up when I'm down. I snip you up. It takes me all around. Yeah, it's got me riding that wave. I got my money where my mind is, and I like it that way. Ha!
And we're back, Better on Draft Podcast, episode 191. That's right, that is 100 after Sergei Fedorov. Number 91, Detroit Red Wings.
Yes.
It's been a
The
while.
Robert Porsche
It's been a
anniversary episode.
while since we've done jersey numbers.
I'm
We
sure
can't do them anymore.
There's no. Do you want me to quote like marathon runners? Jill from Kalkaska.
Cap number.
Sure.
Kevin Pearson.
All right, Rob, I'm counting on you. Segment 3.
It's time for 5 questions with Matt Bush.
Is he doing 5 questions or is he just doing a game?
Actually, this pits all of you against one another.
All right, if you never do that again, I will let you back on this show.
Deal.
This pits all of you against one another.
Oh, great.
By the way, I'm
Blue.
drinking in support of Dan Cook a Newcastle Brown that was in the fridge.
Nice.
So what I have is 2 hard seltzers under plastic bags.
Okay.
The winner
Those
will
are
not
Those are
Paper.
paper.
paper bags.
Those are some damn well shaped plastic bags.
Okay,
Those are
so
amazing.
We're off to an awesome start, guys.
Oh my god.
the winner will not have to drink either of them.
Okay.
Number 2 will get to reveal the first one, and if he doesn't like it, can choose the second, and the third one is stuck with whichever one's left.
Okay, I'm in.
Okay,
Right.
so
How do we screw Nick here? That's the question.
Fuck you.
so topic is, because it started last week technically, but it really starts this week, NCAA top 10 football teams.
Okay.
So we already know who 1 and 2 are. So I'm just going to cover. I'm just going to 86 them. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to give you a number. You're going to ring in with your name, and I will call on you. If you're right, you get a point. If you wrong, you lose a point. And the person with the most points wins. Second and third.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
So
Okay.
who is currently? This is also the AP poll.
I was gonna be a question.
This
What
is
poll
the
is
AP
this?
poll. Who is currently number 3 in the AP poll?
Fuck, I don't know.
This is hard.
That's what she said.
Do we get negative points if we guess wrong?
Correct.
Oh God.
Come
I'm gonna
on.
not answer.
It's college football.
Yeah, there's like 100 and something.
But there's like 5 good teams.
Do we get like? Does anything happen if we get close? I mean, there's more
At
than
least
5
give
teams.
us a conference.
Okay.
Maybe.
I think that's
something.
fair. That's
This
fair.
SEC team is number 3 in the country.
Ken. Georgia.
Correct. Ken gets a point.
Shit.
This Big 12 team is number 4 in the country.
Big 12. Nick. Oklahoma.
Correct.
Oh,
Oklahoma.
Shit. All right.
Anytime today, Rob. This Big 10 team is
Ken.
number 5 in the country.
Ohio State.
Correct. This SEC team is number 6 in the
Nick.
country.
Shit, there's 2 SEC teams.
Auburn.
You lose a
Oh,
point.
crap.
Anybody want to guess the number 6 team in the country?
Rob's like, if they both guess to negatives, I win automatically.
Are you passing?
I'm passing. I
Are you
don't
passing?
know.
Are you not Are you not football?
I don't pay attention to college.
This Big 10 team is number 7.
Nick. Michigan.
All right, you get a point.
Wait, Wisconsin is not as big as Michigan this year?
Everyone cried wolf when they found out Michigan was number 7
But
this year.
this
Michigan sucks.
this SEC team beat the shit out of Ken's Hurricanes.
Ken. I knew who number 8 was because
Okay.
they played last, and because I didn't know if it was like there was a re-rank or anything like that, but it's Florida.
Yeah.
So
we have
re-ranking
3,
doesn't
1, and
happen
0.
until Sunday.
Well, I mean, it re-ranked last Sunday too.
Yeah, I didn't know if like because they won the 1 week that they played.
Yeah.
That's going to be tricky. So this team is number 9 in the country.
Ken,
Rob.
Notre Dame.
Number
Exactly. When it was like,
I'm just
there's
gonna,
no
I'm just
conference.
gonna let
I know that
Ken
one.
let win this out.
All right.
Well, hold on. You guys can tie and have
I
to like go to
know.
like number
right.
11. So I'm just not going to
Yeah.
answer
This
the next
Big
one.
10, Big 12 team is number 10 in the country.
Nick. TCU.
They're not even in the top.
Why would
10.
you go TCU and
No.
not Texas?
I don't fucking pay attention to college ball.
So-
just as
I
much
don't
as you
either.
do.
So
but
it's
I'm
0 to 0.
Rob,
do you want to
wanna-
answer?
Do you
or do you
want
want
to
to
throw a flyer
tie?
on here?
Big 12. You only have like 11 teams to pick
I mean,
from.
we're 0 to 0. I'm actually feeling pretty comfortable.
Are you going to pass or are you going to play?
I no clue. I
Okay.
mean, I'm just saying, like, if
You
if you're gonna
named
throw
the
out a
team.
guess,
I'm pretty sure.
throw in.
Are you passing then?
I'm passing.
Okay, I'm going to do this then to make it easy. To bring it local and maybe you'll hear about this. This,
You should do what rank Michigan State is or something.
that's
like
literally
that.
what I'm going to do.
And then whoever has the closest one wins.
Okay. Yeah,
that-
that. Do you want? How do we judge that if they say at the same time?
Go,
hold
go
on.
card
Let me-
sharks.
let me
have
look
one of
up.
us say it, and then the other one say higher or lower.
Oh, all right, all right. I mean, Nick got at least 1 point, so I think he should guess. I don't know what.
Well, no, I'll let Nick choose. Nick, do you want to be the number maker or do you want to be the over under?
Well, I don't
I
even
wanna
know
do the
how they
over
are
under.
in the fucking
Rob? You
world.
are the number maker.
23.
Nick, over under is over means 24 or higher, mean 24, 25, 26. Under is, you said 23, so 22 to 1.
Well, I definitely think they're better than that, so under.
Nick, you are correct. You got to think 25. There's only 25 teams in the
I
poll,
know.
so
I know that.
What are they,
If they
21?
they're 18 actually. So Nick,
But I mean, the entire AP poll and coaches poll treat Michigan State like shit. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just going to rate them.
I picked it up
based on
because
their
I'm trying to
bullshit.
figure everything out. Michigan in the coaches poll is 20, and the
All
AP
right.
poll is 18.
Okay, so I get to pick one. If I don't like it, I can pass it, but I have to have the other one.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you have to drink the can, and we need a full rating from you.
A full rating?
Full rating. It's going to be on Untapped.
full untapped
I was
rating.
going to pick the one closest to me.
Because you got short arms. Is
Oh,
that
there
why?
it was.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Natter Day.
Oh, dude, I would
Natter Days,
totally pick the
Aloha
Natter Days if I were you.
Beaches.
I would keep the Natter Days.
Are you-
That's not
are you
bad. Wait, does
keeping-
that
are
say
you-
seltzer on it?
It says seltzer on it.
So it's not Natter Days. It's Natural Light
Natural
Seltzer.
Light Seltzer Aloha Beaches.
Konnichiwa.
When
bitches.
mango and peach go beach mode. I'll just keep this.
So Rob, are you ready for your?
He's going to get something better than that.
As they said in the movie,
Hold on. It actually has a name, Catalina Lime Mixer. Natural Light Catalina Lime Mixer.
Rob.
That's the name.
Like, oh, no,
Nick,
well-
save a little bit for me because I'll try some
Okay,
of that from you.
all right.
Yeah, I'm definitely in on that as well.
Okay. Do I get to taste it before he opens?
Yeah, we'll make for good radio. What you got? Do you have a nose to it? Or are you gonna bleed?
Well, no, my nose isn't going to bleed like Rob's does.
What, does it just not taste
it's
like
not
lime?
for
Does
loco.
not smell
I will be
like
fine.
mango and peach. Let me put it that way.
I'm sure I will be fine.
Matt, don't forget to. Yeah,
It's,
yeah, that's good.
it smells worse than it tastes.
It just smells like liquor.
This is like straight peach schnapps.
Yeah, I was gonna say it smells like
Yeah,
that. That's
a little bit.
I think the peach definitely overpowers
Yeah,
it.
I don't get the mango at all. It's more.
Did you drink?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you have to finish that, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
I mean, we did take. I took a couple ounce, an ounce and a half. Matt
Thanks.
took some.
Thanks,
guys.
I still have some.
All right. What does Rob got?
Hold on, I want to try this. Do you want to try this, Matt or Rob? Rob?
No, it's,
No,
I'm gonna probably have to suffer with whatever this is anyway. So
should have taken the.
He will.
Should have taken the Texas.
It's for loco.
yeah, I'm all right. It's
Oh, it's the other one.
the other one. It is the Catalina Lime Mixer.
Oh, so wait, there's two Natural Light Seltzers.
When
much
cherry
is this
and
can?
lime become best friends.
$1.40. So wait, you mean to tell me that the $1.49 Natural Light Seltzer is cheaper than the tall boy there of $1.99 that you
Correct.
had?
Well, that's all 12 ounces, and this is 16 ounces.
So this is the Aloha Beaches. There we go.
All right.
Thank you, Untapped, for not being on top of the hard seltzers.
Natural Light Seltzer. Catalina
Party
Lime
prop-
Mixer.
Part of the Brewers Guild, probably.
Can't, no lime mixer. You gotta save some for us too. I gotta try that one as well.
No, not a problem for Rob.
It has definitely been a minute since we checked in Newcastle Brown Ale because it still had a rating on it. And I've been removing all ratings from our
Why does it
our
look
stuff.
like a
Yeah,
different
I'll
color?
definitely take a
It
little
looks
bit
like
of
a
that.
ghetto ass cherry 7-Up is what it looks like.
Make
And
7
make
up yours.
There you go. Orlando Bloom.
Like somebody
Not
just
Orlando
tried to
Bloom,
make
what's
cherry
his name?
7-Up in the basement.
So,
I need some tasting notes from you, Rob.
yeah, Rob, what do you think of the
Oh wow, this smells.
I mean, it's just like
God, this smells bad.
maraschino cherry, like a
Actually,
motherfucker.
no. This
right
smells
now.
better.
This smells like if Grenadine had a bad child, like Chucky meets Grenadine.
It kind of tastes like one of those White Claw, the black cherry a little bit.
I mean, I just said a whole can of it, and it doesn't.
Well, to me, that's based on what I remember.
This is bad.
No, I like the cherry.
Rob,
That
thoughts?
Catalina lime
Oh
mixer's
no!
No?
Give me that peach one. 10 out of 10.
There you go.
10 out of 10. Give me that. No, that's all yours, buddy.
God damn it! I'm trying
Rob,
to get out
how
of
do you
there.
feel about the cherry lime mixer?
That's all yours. I got a Newcastle Brown.
For basically anybody who, well, I guess I get to check off the bingo square on this one. For anybody who does keto and does along with that actually does the intermittent fasting. And for those that know what bone broth tastes like, especially when you
broth?
get chicken bone broth,
Yep.
and you throw it in the microwave and you take that cup out and the freaking the steam is coming off and it smells like chicken. It smells like all right, this might actually be enjoyable. And then you drink it, and it tastes like fucking boogers that you used to eat when you were 8 years old. And then you're like, this doesn't taste anything like fucking chicken. This is some bullshit. This is pretty much it. It's just like it smells cherry. Cherry. It's like from first sniff. It's like you get cherry all the way.
Artificial cherry.
Artificial cherry, nonetheless. But with the sipping it, it's just like, it's like, hey, there's chicken. Nope.
Oh my gosh.
And it's just gone. And there's nothing.
Wait, it should be called Wait, where's the cherry?
Where's the earth-shattering kaboom?
All right.
All right, so really quickly,
Yep.
according to Untap, which one do you guys think is the better rated?
Cherry.
I know it because I saw both of them and
I
checked
would
them
guess.
in.
I would guess the cherry.
The cherry?
Yeah.
Rob, do you have a guess?
God, it's like fucking Kool-Aid, but they only put a quarter cup of sugar in a whole gallon. Jesus.
Well,
I'm going to guess the Aloha.
it's actually the Aloha by
I drafted Lamar Miller. I'm not good at guessing things on
Yes.
the internet.
yes, I know 3.33 to 3.32.
Now, what I'm going to do,
Okay.
because I won,
Yes.
and I control the board, Nick and Rob, I'm going to give you a chance to team up and go against Matt.
Oh,
And
What's the topic?
the topic is Division I team names.
Division One.
Jesus.
Now,
You know I'm going to win this, right?
how this is going to work is that I have from thoughtco.com the strangest Division I team names, a list of 20.
Is this football or is this all of D1?
This is D1 period.
Okay. A lot of fucking schools.
I'm
317.
I'm pretty sure it's D1 based on the way. Oh no, there's definitely basketball in here.
Okay.
Well, there's 317 teams in in D1 men's basketball.
Now, what's
Is
going to
there an
happen
over-
is
do I have an over-under on this
hold-
one?
Hold on. Matt is going to name a number. Rob and Nick are going to be able to guess.
Okay.
And then it's going to go back and forth. First one to 3 wins, but they get to go first, so
On all
you
of
get to
them?
pick the number.
Okay. Like is
No,
is
so
20
you don't get to steal or anything.
Okay.
It's just you get to pick a
is
number.
20 the craziest, or are they like
It is an alphabetical order. 1
11
to
is
20.
my lucky number.
11 is your lucky number. Number 11. Now, again, thoughtco.com. Strangest Division I team names. You can check it out yourself. Sorry, Matt. Ohio State.
Buckeyes.
There you go. 1 point for them. Now, minus 11, you guys get to pick a number for Matt.
Hold on. Can we do this inning style where if we're 3-3 or 2-2, we
Nope,
get
they get the benefit. They get the benefit to start 1-0
First to
So,
three.
because you have the knowledge.
you want 7,
Let's go 8.
8,
Eight.
8.
Let's go 8.
All right.
I don't know.
Evansville.
Is that Indiana or Illinois?
Hold on. University of Evansville. I'll look it up for you real quick.
Can I get country of origin?
Country.
Or you know what? No, I think I know the answer.
University of Evansville is a private liberal arts university in Evansville, Indiana.
Marmadukes.
It is not the Marmadukes. It is in fact the Purple Aces.
Oh, fuck.
So this number is not from the strangest to the not strangest. It is in alphabetical order
I'd like,
based on the college.
I'd like 19.
19. All right. Watch. It's going to be something really
Easy.
again,
Michigan.
thoughtco.com. Wichita State.
I know that one.
So do I.
Can I steal if they get it wrong?
You cannot steal.
I don't know this one.
This is where
Wichita
the Big
State
Show went to
is
school.
the Shockers.
It is correct.
2-0.
Wow.
Where Big Show went to college.
Thanks, Rob.
He was on the basketball team there.
Yes, I remember they were one of the first schools to have a NCAA Division I bowling team.
Alrighty then. All right. Well, I guess backs against the wall
All
here.
right. You throw a number out there.
So it can't be the numbers that have been picked already.
Let's go number
You want
3.
to go? Oh, okay.
Go number 3.
Remember, these are in alphabetical order.
Is the
Thoughtco.com.
mascot in alphabetical order or this college?
The college.
Okay.
Arizona State.
Sun Devils.
There you go.
That's an easy one.
2-1. Matt, do not pick. There's a few easy ones in here because they're Big Tenors.
I'm trying to figure out what down the line would be. I'm going to go. I picked what was 19 is what I picked last year.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And what was the college?
That was Wichita State.
So I'm going to guess.
Wichita State was 19. The next one that was picked was 11, which was Ohio State.
I'm guessing I know what 20 is already. So I'm going to go with 18.
All right, 8.
Did I fuck up?
You fucked up a little.
You know it fucked up, right?
Virginia Tech.
The Hokies.
God damn it.
Let's see if Matt. I mean, that's 3-1.
Was 20 the Wyoming Cowboys?
It was not Wyoming. Why don't you guys?
Then what's 20?
Just
All
throw
right.
some
I
out
thought it
there.
was Wyoming.
You ready, Matt? Youngstown State.
Penguins, babe. I can do all of these. I just apparently can't do number 8.
All right. I am going to give it. Matt will win if he can run the board.
Okay.
You ready?
Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
okay.
I
accept.
think I can make these rules up because I run the
Challenge
shit.
All right,
accepted.
AA Ron, run the table.
So it's going to be in alphabetical order.
1.
Akron,
The Zips.
Alabama.
The Crimson Tide.
We did number 3, Arizona State Sun Devils. Number 4, Campbell.
Campbell is
Campbell University.
Camels. Are they not the Camels?
They are the Fighting Camels. I will give it to you. What? The precise reason why the camel was chosen as the school mascot is stated clearly on the Campbell University website. There is still uncertainty as to why the unique mascot was chosen.
What?
Number 5,
Wow.
Coastal Carolina.
Oh, jeez.
I want to guess the Gales. I'm going with the Gales.
Matt does not run the board. That is the Chanticleers.
Oh, Chanticleers. Damn. Can we do the rest just so I can
Yeah.
see
Yeah, I want to
let's-
see how much more he knows. Yes.
Cornell.
which one? There's 2 different Cornells.
Like the
Ivy League Cornell
Ivy League
University.
I think I know this one.
It's a color, I think, right? Cornell No.
I got it.
Brown is another university.
The Cornell I don't know.
That is
The
the big
Big
red.
Red.
Like the chewing gum.
I should have I've seen The Office a million times. I should know that goddamn. All right.
At least you know that he didn't know 2. Dartmouth.
Of course, you got all the Ivy League schools.
Listen, this is just from thoughtco.com.
It's another like
It's
UK
another. It's
name.
another color. Let's just put it that way.
the green?
The Big Green. Their
Not
their
the
mascot's
soccer
a
movie.
giant broccoli. Evansville Purple Aces. University of Idaho.
The Vandals.
There you go. University of Minnesota.
The Golden Gophers.
11 was the Ohio State Buckeyes. Presbyterian College.
I thought they were the Tigers.
They are not the Tigers.
Presbyterian Purple Wave.
They are the Blue Hose.
Yes, that's right.
wait,
They
what?
are the Blue Hose.
Socks.
Yes.
Oh, not like hookers.
Yes. I remember seeing them on E
Purdue.
ESPN3.
The Boilermakers.
St. Louis.
The Billikens.
There you go.
How is
Stetson.
Boilermakers a weird not mask?
Stetson is the hats.
Hatters. I
Hatters.
would have given it to you, though.
Yeah, I'd give it to him.
Stony Brook.
Stony Brook.
Don't they normally play a game at Michigan Stadium once a year?
Basketball. They're a basketball school. The Stony Brook are
Their mascot has a basketball.
the Stony Brook Stones.
Seawolves.
Erie. Yeah, gotcha.
UMKC. That is the University of Missouri, Kansas City.
I actually almost went to college there. UMK. I should have known this. Fuck. I'm really dropping the ball.
I thought
Blue
you were going to be
Devils.
much better than this. They are the Kangaroos. The Vatek Hokies, the Wichita State Shockers, and the Youngstown State Penguins.
I've embarrassed myself.
So,
and my
I'm
family.
assuming
next
the-
week, you guys will be able to bring a drink for Matt to have on show.
under
so you
under
can
8% alcohol.
under 8%. That's his rule.
right.
That's a fair rule.
Under 8%.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
3 weeks actually.
Yeah, because we're not here next week.
And then
And-
you're off.
You're off.
No, I thought it was next week was a beer. Wasn't the beer fest.
Next week is the beer fest, but we're back on the 13th.
I'll be. Yeah, I don't miss shows.
One thing I was curious of whether or not we're going to bring it back, and maybe we should ask this of the listeners out there, is whether or not we should bring back French press fantasy.
Well, you're not in fantasy anymore.
I mean,
Did you quit?
if we wanted to, if we did it, I would do fantasy for that. If we
Daily fantasy, then we would have to do a daily.
Are we
fantasy.
gonna do a DFS for the listeners in general?
Let's not. Let's give out some money. Let's give out some gift cards to breweries.
Okay.
Yeah, get these people to some breweries, drink some beer.
Beer box is in. How about a monthly winner gets a beer box?
How about a high score per month gets a beer box?
High score per month gets a My Beer Box.
Yeah, so we'll do that. We'll do. I love how we're doing this on the fly. You know what?
Hey,
we'll
we
do,
got 7 minutes left. It's
We'll
okay.
do. Let's do per week. Let's say $20.
Okay.
$20 per week to your brewery. So you have to make sure we can call them and buy a $20 gift card over the phone. If you can't, we'll figure out a gift card that you can get to or a bar you can go to or something like that. But it's going to be a alcohol style place. So we're not going to give you a $20 gift card at McDonald's or some shit.
Or
I
Apple.
want Applebee's.
I mean, Applebee's is fine. So we'll do DFS starting next week because this is the final week of preseason.
Oh, shit.
We'll post it on our website. Winners. So you have to beat the
Beat the hosts.
hosts.
I will lose every single week.
So if you beat the hosts, we give you a $20 gift card. You have to be first place though. So if like 5 people beat us, then only first place gets a gift card. I only got so much money, guys. Sorry. And I'm not that good at fantasy, and we all know Matt's not good at fantasy.
It's actually Nick's life though, so
Yes, it is my
Yeah,
life.
we're basically relying on Nick.
Nick saves us for dropping $20 on your ass.
We'll call in Dan and Angela to put in some
D'Angela?
D'Angela. There you go. We'll call in D'Angela,
to
the
all
team
the
of Dan
listeners,
and
come
Angela.
at me with your
Right.
fantasy football. Bring it.
Matt, you're going to be at the Beer Fest next weekend.
Yeah, I'll be pouring for Jamex at the UP Beer Fest. I'll actually be staying at the Ramada Wyndham right across. So if you want to have a little party house, it's actually right next to Ordock too. So that's a great little place. Come, I'll have my beer box swag going on and passing out flyers. We'll, I'm sure, do a giveaway while we're there, or at least a discount. But yeah, come out, check JamX Brewing, and have some fun. I think it's the best of all 4 festivals.
It's a great view, by the way. One
And
of the best views of a beer fest ever, including Burning Foot. Because I saw the photos of Burning Foot and it was great. But when you're in the UP and you got that little chill, the little wind, you're right on the water. It's great.
And it's not crowded. I think the one thing is, if you like craft beer, you go to beer fests. But if you really like craft beer, you go to the UP Beer Fest. Because everybody goes to Detroit in fall. Everybody goes in Ann Arbor because it's like an event and it's local. But there might be 1,000 people in the UP, maybe 2. And so it's a lot more, it's less congested unless you're buying Coney dogs. That'll take you, for some reason, an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, I guess for those that like to go up north, enjoy.
I mean, you don't go to 14 Mile.
It's
How are you going to get to Griffin Claw then?
I'm gonna have to figure it out. Although I think I'm changing my restrictions now.
Are we going to get you to the
'Cause
Jim John's Fest?
I've basically said if I am anywhere north of CJ Barrymore's at M59, then I've been kidnapped. So
So you're going to come to the beer fest, right?
I-
And Nick, you're going to get us batting practice, aren't you? 'Cause as a season ticket holder,
Well, I
that
think,
would be
I think
great
that
content.
passed up, but
That would be great content.
I'm sure maybe we could pull some strings with our friends over there.
It's going to depend on the schedule, and because I'm the only one in here who's got kids.
It's Michigan Penn State week, by the way. So I don't think that's going to be.
All I know is that the wife is very excited, and her friends are very excited.
Are they
for the,
cute or single?
Some of them are.
Holla at your boy. I
Yeah.
gave you that so we could pour that.
Speaking of the season, usually around now we usually have our thoughts and our picks
Oh,
as,
Jesus
as far as our
Christ.
Super Bowl picks. The season starts next week,
Thursday.
Yeah.
Before we gather again.
right? As you know, I'll have to somehow hopefully cheer or suffer through this Thursday.
Suffer.
I guess
I've got a rag. I've got a yellow rag.
they'll make fun of my fucking terrible towel, you asshole.
So you want to start first then? Do you have a Super Bowl or a team to watch?
I always have a team to watch.
Well, for the general public, not for people who like the color black and yellow. What's your Super Bowl?
Damn it, I think my Super Bowl is going to be. Oh my God! I think the Chefs.
And I want a newsworthy item as well from you.
a newsworthy item.
Yeah, like
Like NFL?
like a headline, like what the headline of the season.
The headline.
Oh, I got one for you.
All right, so my Super Bowl, I think it will be Chiefs and I don't know. I think the Rams might get there again.
Oh, how funny! Because I was actually thinking the
'Cause I
same
think
thing.
I like to see Chiefs Rams, and I think my headline of the season is AB creates the newest butt fumble.
AB Green.
Antonio Brown.
Yeah,
Nice.
Nick,
Well, since
gets another frostbitten toe. While trying to wear the old helmet.
Chiefs Rams. I think the headline. I'm going to stay local, and I'm going to say Patricia gets fired this year.
You're on drugs.
After year 2,
Yep. After
You're
year
on
2.
fucking
Yeah.
drugs.
No.
he's got to pull an Owen. What?
I'm going to say Patricia.
You're
gets,
on drugs.
No, I'm not.
Drugs.
The only
No,
reason.
the people that follow the Free Press on Facebook and say that they're gonna and actually believe the shit that comes out of their mouth, thinking that they're gonna go 10-6 or 13-3 this year, they're on fucking drugs.
The only way I would see him getting fired is if the organization knew 100% that they were able to get Sean Payton.
No.
Oh God, Sean Payton coming to
Ken?
Detroit.
Do you have a football thing that you'd like to say about words?
I never liked Patricia as a coach, so whatever. Fuck him.
You ready for this? Cleveland Browns.
What? Wait, Super Bowl
And I thought Nick was on drugs.
versus who?
New England.
They're in the AFC.
Yeah, you need
Oh,
to find.
That's your AFC
That's
title
your
match.
AFC championship game.
You ready? Cleveland Browns.
Cleveland.
LA Rams.
Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
First of all, the Rams will barely be 8-8.
Really?
I mean, it's kind of tough because the
Sean
statistics are
McVay.
against them.
You think
Sean McVay is a garbage bag.
Yeah,
Actually, Jared Goff is a garbage bag. Sean McVay is.
Matt, get your pick
is
in. We're almost
offense deep.
over.
yeah.
Chefs, Saints guarantee the Saints
Love
win.
to see that.
Saints win.
that's gonna be like the highest
Drew
scoring
Brees goes
Super
out
Bowl.
like John Elway and retires and becomes the next Elway. So Chefs, Saints all the way.
That sounds
All right,
good.
guys. As I've
Yeah.
started a couple weeks ago, and
Salud.
we're going to continue. Hold on. The
fine.
final shot is going to be where we have our guests promote their final information, their where they're located, where you can find them, where you can get their beer, their liquor, or whatever you can get. We don't have a guest tonight, so for this final shot, I am going to call out all of our sponsors: Zatuna Liquor, North Center Brewing, T-Shirts.beer, the Michigan Beer Box, the Ferndale Set, Schoolcraft
We
College.
got a lot of fucking sponsors for this
You know
struggling
what?
podcast.
For a struggling podcast, we're good to go. This is the moonshine from the
Brewfest at
distillery.
Jimmy John's Field.
Brewfest and Jimmy John's Field. They're not a sponsor, but yes, let's promote them
Yep,
for sure.
Yep.
And this is the Juniper moonshine. So I hope you guys like gin, or I hope you
gin-y.
guys like
I
it.
hate
I
gin.
I gave you the smallest pour.
It's
Good.
like Forrest Gump.
It matched.
Jenny!
It matched your
Oh
height.
God, no way. Hell no.
Just down the hatch.
Oh no.
Nicholas.
You're just drinking Natural
All
Light
right,
Seltzer.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna run to the toilet.
No,
so.
just-
Here's a little chaser. Here's some
You have a Natural
Newcastle Brown.
Seltzer.
Oh, just go. All right, just go. Go. Go.
You have
go,
a
go,
bucket.
Go.
You have
All
a,
right,
Go.
all right.
Shut
Here we
up.
go.
One,
Here we go.
2, 3,
Salud.
Go.
It's not good.
That's going to do it for us, Better on Draft Podcast. You can reach out to us over at betterondraft@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook, Better on Draft, Twitter, Better on Draft, Untapped Bod Podcast, our website, betterondraft.com. We also have the Michigan Beer Map, which is mibeermap.com. And no matter what you think of your beer, we think
That
it's
shot was worse on draft.
That was fucking awful.
Better on draft.
Better on Draft. Have a good night.
Peace.